Welcome back, folks. Dow Industrials right now are trading up 445. We get the Nasdaq up 155. S&Ps are up 55. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, as we do each and every Tuesday at 20 past the hour. And don't forget, folks, Basil does an outstanding show here every trading day, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Also has a great newsletter, The Opening Call. Now, it's very easy to get Basil's newsletter. You come over to our website at TFNN. You go into newsletters. You can hit the opening call. You're going to get a great newsletter. And better yet, folks, okay, what does happen is that Basil just did a great workshop for, all clients at TFNN. I believe that you can still get this webinar. Can we still get this webinar, Basil?
Yes, it's there. And in fact, it's one of those webinars. Hi, Tom. It's one of those webinars that it wasn't like for the day, that, trading. This was a webinar that the very things we're looking at here, you can see the left side chart. I've got this oval pattern. We discussed exactly this, that there should be this particular pattern usually leads to a breakout to the upside, that there's a letter D that we're always looking for. There it is. Just a wealth of information. It was really an all-day seminar where there were questions. I answered the questions. We followed the charts. We looked at live charts, right. But we also did the classic formula that I look at, finding the low bar, counting each successively higher peak. So it's there.
Sure. So you can subscribe to this, folks. You can get the whole webinar. It's only $295. With that, you get a full month of Basil's newsletter. So check it out right on the front page. Because, Tommy and I tried to hold this market until your show started today to 30,000 because we knew that was your number, man.
Thank you.
And
it
hit it like 20 minutes before you. Come on, right?
I know. Just before 12, it hit 30,000. In the den, Jimmy says, fantastic webinar, going to rewatch it over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Which makes it so great. I know. And that's how you learn, folks, okay? So check it out. It's right on the front page of TFNN right now. So, bottom line, 30,000. We're here, man.
So there were a couple of things that I always look at. As you know, over the almost 2 decades that I've been here, we've seen a number of millennial levels, the 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25, 30. Now we've seen 30,000. What happens at that level is really important. Over the years, we've seen that sometimes there's a price that goes straight. I think we saw that at the first 10,000 level. It went there, but it never closed above. It got there just in time for, what's his name, down on the floor.
I remember, got there, come back, and then it got there and just took off. Yeah.
And then later, when it went through it like a hot knife through butter.
It did.
So this is very important. I have a whole bunch of rules that go with this. And one of the things that it says is people have to become familiar with the number. So it needs to close above 30,000 today on the news for people to say, 30,000. People are going to say, 30,000? I remember selling at March at the low, or maybe buying at March at the low. And, they start to reminisce and say, it's unbelievable. How can it do that under these conditions? So you need all of that. And what you need to see is that the 30,000 level becomes a friend. Today we just got introduced. All of a sudden, you got to hear 30,000 over a period of 2-3 weeks. Quite a few times, and today we actually went to 30,116. I'd like to close nicely over 30,000. We're at 30,033 right now, with 35 something minutes to go. But what's really important is that it's only a benchmark. It's not like it's the end of the world, it's the beginning of the world. It's just a number. It's how it deals with the number. So for me, we've been long since we got started. We started long March the 23rd at the very low. We used call options, and very soon after that, first week of April, we went long the Dow via the diamonds at just under 21,000. And we've taken a little bits off, but we've still kept the core position. And here we are. Now I have to start deciding what's going to happen next. But there are the same technique that was discussed in great detail on Thursday in the webinar. For instance, I spoke to you the other day and I said, we went long the GBTC, which is the Bitcoin Investment Trust.
Yes.
And we went long on the 14th of October. So this is about 6 weeks' time. And it's gone from the 14, we had 2 positions, short-term and long-term, because clients wanted to know about the different, how I looked at it. and what they should do if they wanted to buy for the long term. What should they do, and what would they do with the short term? Turns out that we got in at the 1240s, and it's almost doubled. Today it hit 2406. I mean,
it's huge. Congratulations, man. Amazing.
But thank you very much. Of course, now we've got decisions because, with Bitcoin, what goes up sometimes comes down. So we've already taken off 2 little bits. So these are really big gains. So that's the same technique. You see this big oval pattern right here in the middle? We discussed this the other day in my webinar, and I even did it on the show. I did live actually here, that I had a 1-to-1 expansion based on this particular Chapman Wave propeller shaft extension, but you never know where it's going to stop. So this ran all the way. I suspect that we're getting really close to at least some kind of a consolidation. I'm going to discuss it tomorrow on my show, The Target Conditions Hour at noon. I'll go through quite a few of these different patterns. And so we've been very fortunate, but we've also been sort of under the radar for a while. I've been looking at, for instance, the DBA, which is the Agricultural Fund. So we're in this at $13.77 back in July on the 23rd, and taken a little bit off, but mostly look how nicely it's gone straight up, and there's that leg D. So we're looking at a number of instruments that we are long that are in leg D. We even had one that was just an amazing mover. This is HIMX, HIMX Technologies. HIMX is a symbol. We got in the other day at $4.46. When I say the other day, I mean on the 17th of November. And look what it did. We got in there, and it screamed today. I said this morning, I said, let's say take a little bit off right at the opening, and that was a 38% gain. There's that leg D in the Chapman Wave.
Scream is RS. I like it.
The Screamer. This is a low price stock. It was at 4 something, and now it's at 5.77. Hit $6.19. So in my newsletter, I also have a little section called Screamers. We've had a number of these, and they can do very nicely if they work out well.
No doubt. There's no doubt about that, man. Pretty amazing. There's, and we got, of course, Thanksgiving week. The market has juice. There's no doubt about that. We'll see where this is going to go.
Well, one of the things that's really important here, we're also along the IWM, the Russell 2000. We were long early in October, and then we got out. Nice profits. We got out. We went back long. I didn't get the bottom because we were busy looking at other areas, but we did get long at about 173, and today it hit 185. And it's also getting a little toppy, but this is the rotation that we've been talking about for such a long time, that fund managers tend to look for the next vehicle that they can use. For instance, the tech sector's not doing badly, but it's just not leading. And the Russell, the small caps are doing well. So I think that's towards the end, going into the end of the year, the history is that the small caps, the IWM, usually does very well December to January. That's not always the case. But perhaps this year is the year that they rotate, saying, I want to be a little careful. I'm going to go into another area that's fresh, and we'll see what happens.
And, folks, you get a few days off. You can come over to our website at TFNN. You can ride that wave, understand that wave, and get his newsletter. Take the webinar, only $295. You get the webinar, listen to it as many times as you want, plus get the newsletter. Basil, have a great one, safe one. We look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Tom. Have a great Thanksgiving.